It's the Gear Tester here, and welcome to my review of the 511 Bailout Bag. This bag is going to cost around $60 and it's going to hold 544 cubic inches. It was designed by 511 to be a bag that is used to sustain an individual who is using a long gun for self-defense during a firefight or violent encounter. It comes in both black and flat dark earth. I've been using this bag for 6.5 years. I've used it for camping trips, for day hikes. I've used it as a shooting bag, as a range bag, and I've also spent a significant amount of time using it the way you see me doing here to practice for the potential of a defensive encounter when I need to employ a long gun, and using the bag to feed my firearm and to carry necessary essentials for that reality. What I want to do now is show you the 511 Bailout Bag as I have configured it for the last 2 months and how I've decided to leave it, have it dedicated for the purpose of home defense, responding to a violent threat inside the confines of my home. I've set it up here for an AR-15, and I have a number of other components in the bag. So let's go through what I have externally on the bag first, okay? Keeping in mind that this is specifically designed for responding to dangerous or lethal threats inside the confines of my home. So I don't need things like food, I don't need things like water, I need just basic stuff. You can see here on this end I have a tourniquet, and it's attached externally to the bag. I don't have anything attached over here, but it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put a secondary tourniquet there. What I have in the first 2 pouches are one AR-15 magazine. Now both these, well actually all 3 of these pouches will hold 2. So I could have in this configuration 4 magazines, or I could have 6 if I just decided to run magazines in it. However, because of the way this bag is designed, it's relatively thick, and what happens when you put either 4 or 6 mags in it is it really pulls the bag over on you and it's uncomfortable. And so I think probably if I have 30 rounds in my gun and I have immediately accessible 60 more rounds, that I'm probably very well taken care of for ammunition. Externally, you can see with this loop I have a combat medicine pull-out tray, okay? And I have some just basic medical equipment here. I have a H-bandage, I have a needle for decompressing a lung, I have some gauze that's just standard gauze. It costs like $1.50, okay, for packing wounds, and then I have one of these little breathing tubes. So that's what I'm running externally in the pouches. And that's because I think that's the stuff that I'm going to need immediately accessible. And I have the medical stuff on it to help me and also to help family members, because it's unrealistic to assume that if you start capping off rounds inside the confines of your home and maybe somebody's shooting back at you, that people aren't going to get hurt. I'm probably going to get hurt in a violent encounter in my home. But I want to have the components externally available to me on this bag that are going to increase my chances of being able to respond and increase my chances of being able to save my own life and save the lives of those around me that I love and care about if they accidentally got shot or they caught rounds that were coming at me, if they kind of got caught in the crossfire. I like a bag for home defense. I have lots of MOLLE equipment. I have all kinds of stuff. I like a bag because I can just throw it on. If I am, okay, let's just be honest, if I'm naked or if I'm just wearing pajamas that just have a drawstring, this can just go plunk right over me and be ready to respond, okay? And I can't imagine a better or easier system to use for that purpose. So this is really, I've designed this or using this for a very defined purpose. I wake up and I have to respond instantaneously to a threat. I have my rifle available to me inside my bedroom, and I just drop this on over me. Inside the main compartment, which is actually quite large, and we see it has some MOLLE components here. The MOLLE components are tied to this kind of 511's proprietary kind of Velcro stuff, kind of like a hook loop Velcro. It doesn't work super well, and it is not tied to the back portion of the bag. Okay, so I don't use, I bought this initially 6.5 years ago. You see it pulls away there. It pulls away. And so if you put any MOLLE stuff on it, what it does is it just pulls the liner of the bag out in a weird and annoying way. And it doesn't hold it. It needs like a rigid, if I was going to do anything different about this bag, is I would put a rigid like piece of thin plastic in here, like in some backpacks, to give it some rigidity. And I would make sure that the way in which this 511, the MOLLE is tied in, went through the entire thing. Okay, that's the one thing I really don't like about this bag. So I don't find that MOLLE very useful. Keep in mind, this is a 6.5-year-old bag. 511 may have modified the way in which they're making it. I haven't checked that. Inside this compartment, I have 2 more 30-round magazines. Okay, and those are not immediately available to me, but they are available to me. And then I have my hearing protection. Okay, and so the way I envision actually using this bag is waking up, realizing that something bad is going on in my home, dropping the bag over me, opening this bag up, and putting my hearing protection on. Okay, first and foremost, this is electronic hearing protection. It's going to allow me to hear when I start shooting. After the first round, we're all going to be deaf if we don't have hearing protection on. So I think if I have the chance, if I have the time to put my hearing protection on, that's what I'm going to do. On this pouch right here, okay, I have some zip ties, a Leatherman, and some paracord. And this is not for restraining an individual. This is just to give me the ability to tie stuff down, to adjust things, to maybe tie doors shut, any number of things. I just want to have these tools. I've found zip ties, okay, and 550 cord, paracord, and duct tape, that kind of stuff, very useful, and a Leatherman's always useful. Again, I might not have any of my everyday carry stuff. I may literally just be in my pajamas or having just stepped out of the shower as a respond to a violent confrontation. It's good to have a good quality tool on you like this Leatherman Surge. The reason I'm not going to tie somebody up is if individuals entering my home to do harm to me and my family, the last thing I want to do is keep them inside the confines of my home for any longer than I have to. They are toxic and dangerous. If the police catch this person, let's say that I, you know, they run, I scare them out of my house, they run away, the police are going to capture them, arrest them, book them, and eventually release them, right? So why do I want to try and hang on to them? I want them to leave. I'm just one man inside the confines of my home. I don't have other officers or other individuals responding instantaneously to help me. The first thing the officers are going to do is potentially assume that I am the bad guy when they get that 911 call. Okay, so I don't have the things for tying stuff down, the zip ties and the paracord, to restrain a person. Okay, I guess they could be used that way. I have them just for generic fixing stuff, adjusting things. I just think because I have this bag, I'm going to have some tools in it. On this external pouch here, okay, I do have a pistol in it just to demo for you. This bag is not secured inside my home. It is just placed inside of a little dresser drawer by my bed, and so I do not leave a pistol in it. I have a pistol there available to me, but it's locked up, okay? It is secured. If you're going to put a pistol in here, I would then want to put the entire bag inside a large safe or some kind of locked dresser or some kind of a box or something that is very secure. What I'm just doing is I'm just showing you the size of this pouch. This is an M&P Shield. Okay, it will also fit a Glock 26 or similar size pistol. It does not fit the Shield very well with the +1 base plate. Okay, this is the 9mm version. But what it does allow you to do is see the size of it. And I've used this bag when I've used it for things like day hikes and things, or hunting. I've actually carried my Glock 26 in here. I would encourage you to not carry a round in the chamber. Okay, it's not quick draw, but it could be useful if you decided to. If your gun went dry or something, and again, you don't have your belt and stuff on, you just be able to go whoop like that, draw out a pistol, rack around and chamber around, and be ready to have an additional weapon. Just something to consider as you think about purchasing this 511 bailout bag. This is how I've configured it. This is the way I'm going to leave it because it is so useful to respond instantaneously with all this gear and equipment to a lethal threat inside the confines of my home. Thank you very much for your views and your subscriptions. The 511 bailout bag comes highly recommended from me, the gear tester. I think it represents a good value and it is a quality piece of equipment. This is the gear tester signing off. It's the Gear Tester here, and welcome to my review of the 511 bailout bag. This bag is going to cost around $60 and it's going to hold 544 cubic inches. It was designed by 511 to be a bag that is used to sustain an individual who is using a long gun for self-defense during a firefight or violent encounter. It comes in both black and flat dark earth. I've been using this bag for 6.5 years. I've used it for camping trips, for day hikes. I've used it as a shooting bag, as a range bag, and I've also spent a significant amount of time using it the way you see me doing here to practice for the potential of a defensive encounter when I need to employ a long gun, and using the bag to feed my firearm and to carry necessary essentials for that reality. What I want to do now is show you the 511 bailout bag